I want I'd like the debaters to comment on something they only touched on and that it has been absent from this discussion, which is the public. I think the real failure of leadership here has been that no party over 30 years has really cared that much about rallying the public.
So Tom, can you turn that right away to a question?
Yeah, sure. How can we think of ourselves as leading in the world when the American public couldn't care less about what goes on in the world, wow, even less than they did 30 years ago? They just don't care, and our leaders don't make them care.
You nailed the question. That's a really good question. Vikram, can you take that
on? Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I would only say, I think if you looked back across polling about Americans' interest in the world and knowledge of the world and all of those things, the field that I chose, I realized very early on was something that the vast majority of my friends and family back home really looked, I mean, they wanted to go to sleep or get me away, right? If I started talking about work. And I think that that's been true all along. The real question there, Tom, and you actually get at this a lot, is, leaders rely on expertise, the thing that you have said we've been failing to do. They rely on expertise, and then they lead at home by basically setting the direction and bringing people along. And what we've seen in recent decades is the only time we really get public support is because there's a big crisis. So there's 9/11, and then of course everyone rallies to you, and that's not leadership. That's just the luck of the bad moment. And I think the thing we have is a lot of parsing rather than just being clear. This is where we're headed. The people will follow on foreign policy if the leaders are being sort of clear about what it is we're doing. And I think that that's just not happening.